Test, 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 test. Test, 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 test. Test, 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 test. Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. Test, test, testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2, testing 1 2 3. Test 1 2 3, testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2, testing 1 2 3. Test. All right. Starting shortly, about 10 minutes. Test 1 2 test. Be starting in a few minutes. Test. All right. Let's see here. Okay. What's going on in the market here? Let's see, anyone? You guys give it a few minutes here. See if we got a few more people joining. All right, so doing a quick stream today. I still haven't eaten dinner, so I'm gonna do it quick and just kind of, you know, little chat on what's going on in the markets. Let's see if anyone else joins on Discord. Give it a few minutes, but I'm just gonna kind of give my thoughts on the market, right? Just on what I see and what I think is going on. So yeah, no one expected this move today, right? Everyone thought this thing was gonna just go lower, right? Everyone thought Bitcoin was gonna go lower, and that's the thing with crypto, man. It can, especially for those that trade on a smaller time frame, it's very difficult, especially when things get choppy. You know, like I look at on a daily time frame for the most part, and on a decision making basis where I'm looking to make decisions, if I want a more zoomed in time frame, I look at the 4 hour. 1 hour and 5 minutes, 15 minutes, you know, it's just too short of a time frame that anything can happen. You know, crypto is very volatile, so you don't want to get stuck. You don't want to marry a thesis based on a smaller time frame, right? You want a more concrete that gives you a little bit more room for error, or allows you to be right, you know, over a longer period of time, right? It's hard to be right in a short period of time with crypto, and you can see it here, right? Like even on, I think it was Friday. Let's see, let's go back. Let's go on the daily here. I was looking at this market, and I posted in the Discord for our members that you know, momentum has broken to the down, and you know, we're getting some downward momentum here. But this market there's a constant bid. You know, there's just constantly people buying up Bitcoin, right? Like it's just not stopping. It's been relentless since the ETF approval, and you know, I don't care what indicator you use or, you know, what kind of technical analysis you have. You know, it can only guide you, and it can only do so much, and there's nothing certain about technical analysis, right? I mean, I use it, but I use it on a very basic level to keep it very simple and not to get too invested into an idea, right? I just feel like the more indicators you have, the more, you know, the more reassurance in your thesis that you have, which indicators do, the harder it is to change your mind quickly, right? As a trader, you want to be able to change your mind quickly when new information comes, and always keep your mind open. Always be ready to pivot, because, you know, like I said, technical analysis isn't the end all be all, right? There's so many factors and so many variables, and not only that, you just have the human variable as a wild card. It is definitely the wild card. So you can't predict it. You know, you can't predict human behavior. And right now, this is what I've seen And what everyone sees is just there's this bid in this market that just will not go away. You know, I would love to buy the dip, but you know, sometimes you just, you know, sometimes you don't get what you want. Now, what I saw, I saw on this day, we broke trend, and we had a confirmation of breaking trend. And the way I see it as, you know, this yellow line is the 10 SMA. MACD was trending higher. Everything was bullish. Once we broke this, that just tells me to be a little cautious, that getting very aggressive is not the play, right? You need to lay off the gas a bit. You can stay long, you know, but expect more volatility, which is what we got. We got confirmation of a break of the downtrend, and we just been more down, more sideways, maybe a little down, right? And then Sunday night, or sorry, Monday or Sunday through Monday, had this move up. We're getting a close above the 10 SMA, but we're having a conflicting indicator. This MACD, for me, I mean, just for me, is showing me that momentum isn't quite yet bullish and in an uptrend, right? There is going to be some volatility, most likely, and it's still telling me to be cautious. Don't get bullish. If price breaks above yesterday's high, you know, there might be some trades there for more short-term traders to get long and play a scalp. But for me, I'm not looking to play that. I'm just looking for the next opportunity, waiting for the markets to kind of line up, and waiting for the next move, right? So right now, I'm not really too aggressive. I did pretty much buy the dip on Ethereum with this liquidity pool. I hear music. Hey Billy, what's up, man? Can you hear me? Or I see we got another person in here, Harshi, in the Discord. Check the chat. You were having the same issue last week, Billy. You said you couldn't hear me. You might want to check your sound, because I tested it today. I definitely tested. Oh, okay. Are you looking at the? Oh man, let me make sure the mic is good, man. Hold on, it's got to be good, man. Are you on YouTube as well? Hold on. No, man, it's coming. It's working, man. It's coming through YouTube. Let me see here. Test. Yeah, even my, when you talk, the icon is making the sound noise on Discord. But let me check my settings again, man. But I tested it. It should be working. You might need to check your sound under your options. Make sure it's coming through the correct. You might have to specify the actual speaker instead of having default as the option. Usually I find like selecting default just doesn't work. But I tested it today. I even logged into my test Discord account and I tested the sound and it was coming through just fine. So yeah, I would make sure that works. Hey Felix, man, what's up? Can you hear me? Let me see. I might have to tag him. Okay, he sees it. Some quiet music in the back. What? Again? What is going on, man? Hold on. Well, flip over to YouTube then. I got the YouTube going. Just go to my channel. You could click my profile on Discord and it should show you my... Man, what? Some quiet music in the back, but not your voice. What? Like how? Like I literally tested it, man. Ugh, that is so annoying, dude. Hold on. Let me check my sounds again. My sound. Test. Man, it's working, dude. Yeah, the mic is selected. I wonder. Interesting, man. Input mode, voice activity. I mean, it's good, man. Like, what? Microphone. Here. Let's see. Man, I wanted to like get some of you guys up, man. Hold on. Okay, it's got to be on my end then. Let's see. Turn off microphone. No, that's not it. Oh, I found it. Or I might have found it. No, yeah, man. How about we just do default? Test. Can you hear me now? Test. Oh, that's a bummer, dude. What is the deal? Probably not. Testing 1, 2. Can you hear me now? Oh man, that is annoying. Talk again. I just left YouTube. Yo. This is annoying, man. Voice settings. Oh, how about that? Test. How about that? Can you hear me now? Ha. Test. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, man. I don't know, man. That's so weird. Oh, maybe because it's going through OBS. I don't know, man. It shouldn't. Oh, noise suppression? No. Testing. Let's see. It's got to be a setting then. So there's some music. You guys hear the music? Decorations, permissions. View channel. Create and connect. Oh wait, hold on. Maybe I have to like invite you guys. Hold on.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Okay, I'm talking through the Discord.
Okay. That's so weird, man. Like, you guys can't hear me at all, huh? On the Discord, just on YouTube? Let's see. Let's turn that off.
Yes.
You guys can't hear me still?
Yeah, I was on Discord. also, and we can talk through Discord authentic.
Okay. I don't know what's the deal, man. I don't know why it does that. That's so weird. Like I can hear you guys through
Or
Discord.
people on the other computer.
Yeah, I could hear you guys through Discord fine. And I even tested it earlier, but yeah, I guess not, man. Let's see. I'm just checking some settings, man. Oh yeah, maybe connect video.
Yeah. So the only way that we can hear is having YouTube open at the same time.
Just from there? Okay.
It's easy.
Let me see. I'm just checking the Discord settings. Messages, email links. Okay, I don't know, man. I just well, at least I can hear you guys. So yeah, just oh, you guys, you can hear me on the Discord now. Can you guys hear me? K Beard is able to hear me now. I changed some settings on the everyone role. I think it was the everyone role.
Well, at least I can hear you guys. So, yeah, just
Discord's good now?
oh, you can hear me on the Discord now. Can you guys hear me? Hey, you can be able to hear me now. I've changed some settings on the everyone role.
I just hear you through YouTube.
Oh, just YouTube. Okay.
No, I can hear you on Discord now.
Oh yeah. Okay.
It's a little lower volume, but I have closed YouTube and I still can hear you on Discord.
Nice, nice. Hold on. It's probably the volume
Yes.
here.
It sounds really, really low.
Oh, here you go. Output volume. No, input volume. Good. Input. Test. How about now? Better?
Nice. Hold on.
This is a little... All right. Yeah, so I'm just going over the market, checking it out. You know, like well, I guess we'll do what we got. We'll deal with what we got, right? At least you guys can hear me. I can hear you guys. So it's all good. But yeah, dude, I've been
I'm just going over the market, checking it out.
I'm gonna mute you, Billy, for a second. Okay, if you need to, just raise your hand or type in the chat when you're ready to speak, because there's a lot of I could hear myself through your speaker. All right, so yeah, so I've been looking at the market. You know, I know last week I posted in the Discord that momentum has broken. Expect some volatility. And, that's what we got, at least past several days. More of a just chop and sideways downish type market. Not really down, just more like just some digestion in this move. And then all of a sudden today, what a move today. Caught a lot of people out offsides. And I was saying earlier that, technical analysis, it works to keep your risk managed, right? But I wouldn't like rely on it as like the end all be all, because there's that human variable in it, right? And just what I noticed is there's just a relentless bid, just bids buying up Bitcoin, right? And even now, like even today, it even took me by surprise. Even though you guys see like the way I'm positioned with Ethereum USDC, I left it super wide because I just felt like there was like it just wasn't done, but I felt like like the move should be done for now, right? But I was like, I just don't know, man. It just feels like they're not done buying, right? And so that's that. It was more like like protection and a way for me to just kind of disconnect. I had to disconnect the past couple of days just from the markets and the screens, because the past month almost has been like nonstop. It's been great, some really nice yields, really great opportunities, but I was starting to get burnt out. So I had to take a break. I didn't want to start making mistakes, getting sloppy with my trading. So I took the past few days off, spent the weekend off, and it was good. Recharged a bit, but I didn't even expect to move like this today. I was like, maybe there'll be some buyers, but I just feel like there'll be more chop. But here we are, and right now, as far as my technical analysis, mine's very simple. As long as we're above the 10 SMA, which is the yellow line, as long as MACD is trending up, which it's not right now. So there's mixed signals, a lot of mixed signals for me. And then not only that, but we're still pretty elevated above the weekly 10 SMA. So I just felt like, we have room to go down to at least 60K, or even like a little lower, right? And we could even come down to the mid 40s, low 40s on Bitcoin. So I'm just like, man, what is the risk to reward, right? So I think now is the time to just be cautious, but I wouldn't say sit out of the market, right? Leave enough to where you can just quench that FOMO, that oh man, if it goes higher, will you be upset? Will you get FOMO? Are you one to succumb to the FOMO, right? Especially if things get crazy, like especially if this market doesn't pull back from here, because right now a lot of people are caught off sides. A lot of people thought pretty much the same thing. Either we're going to consolidate or we're going down a bit, but nobody saw this coming today. Not a lot of people saw this coming today, right? So FOMO can be a powerful emotion. It can get people to jump in the market at any price. So that's why it's important to, especially like in a macro bull market. And, like I was saying earlier with crypto, for me, like I don't even, when I make decisions, I don't even go below, I don't zoom in farther than 4 hours nowadays. Going to 1 hour or 5 minutes, right? It's too noisy. Crypto's too volatile to make a good decision based on those time frames. You need to give yourself room for error, because even though crypto can follow like it's very organic and it follows technical analysis pretty well, very well actually. Outsized moves can happen to where you can be right, but you will go through some pain being right? So you got to leave like buffers, ways for you to, size down, even though you have conviction in your trade, but you got to be able to sit through some unexpected volatility, moves that are larger than you expected, because it can go farther than you expect, right? I mean, it can go 10% in minutes, so, that's just me, like from experience back in previous bull markets or previous cycles, 2017, I mean, easily Bitcoin would pump or dump $5,000 to $10,000, like in a couple candles, right? Like it was crazy. So, those that have experienced it know exactly what it can do. So here, even though we're, it's starting to look, oh man, it's starting to look bullish, I just kind of have a feeling now they want to create that liquidity event, right? There's so many buyers here. They want to create that liquidity event, maybe get those buyers to just say, you know what, I just need to get in. They're probably getting impatient, right? Maybe at least for the short term, get this thing moving, get in a liquidity event set up here, and then get a pullback, and just overall, like on the daily, I'm seeing mixed signals again. if this MACD crosses back over and we get a test and stay above the 10 SMA, I don't see any reason to be afraid or getting defensive. But at the same time, I wouldn't get too aggressive. I don't know. What do you guys think? You know, like, what do you guys think about this market? What are you guys doing, or what do you guys, do you guys have any questions on concentrated liquidity, how to use it in this market, or how to use it for your own thesis, on what you think or what you want to do? What are you guys up to or doing? Felix, I don't do technical analysis. I just look to get volume. That's it. Yes. Yeah, like I'm saying, you look for those liquidity events, and you want to be positioned to take advantage of that, right? Because those liquidity events are prime for liquidity providers.
So I'm loving this market.
Yeah. Same here, man.
Volatility. I'm starting consuming the information, so we want to be in.
Yeah, I agree, man. It's these opportunities are insane. Like you've seen my wide Ethereum USDC pool. It's like 2,800 to 12,000 Ethereum price, and I'm still getting like 40 to 50% on it, and it's like I got it right here. Like I'll show it. Where is it? The aperture right here. It's like I think this has been open for 4 days or so, maybe 5 days. No, I don't even think 5 days. I think it's been like 4 days if I remember correctly. But like, that return is pretty nice, man. It's like, it allowed me to disconnect from this market to get this wide, because I was farming some pretty tight pools and I was very active. But I needed to step away for a few days, and I just ran this wide pool, and it was still printing printing enough. Like I was like, oh yeah, this is actually pretty good. Still a good amount of yield to chill off of. All right, so K Beard, I am looking to Bitcoin as a leading indicator for most of the rest of my farms, but yes, always chasing volume. Yes, I agree, man. Like Bitcoin is pretty much king, right? It's the leading indicator, and it's the one. Like if it's trending up, keep pressing. Why not? There's, to put opinions into the market, to try to force your opinion on the market or what you think it should do, or what just like where interest rates are, or what the Fed is doing, right? Or what the whole world is doing, the globals, yes, all that plays a part in the market, but for the most part, anything that happens on a macro scale that's not exactly regarding price action, it already gets priced in within like nanoseconds, right? Like even if you were trying to time like a black swan, you wouldn't be able to time it. Like the markets are so fast nowadays. You're trading against machines. Mainly, most of the volume is machine volume. You're like trading against robots, right? They have no emotion. It's like the movie The Terminator, right? Like it has no remorse, no fear. It's just there to do its mission, right? And it's there to steal your money. The markets are not. It's a money extraction. It's a capital extraction mechanism, right? It's not made, or its purpose isn't like, its goal, right, of the market is not to just give everybody and make everybody rich, right? Like that's not the goal. The goal is to sell you on something, right? It's a market. It sells you on something, makes you believe something, and makes you invest into it. Now, whether you make money or not, that's neither here or there, right? Like that, whatever the outcome is, because at the same time, the person selling you something is also looking to make a profit, right? And they're not guaranteed a profit either. So, yeah. So it's just kind of like, as long as Bitcoin is going up, keep pressing. But I'd say right now, like, we've had a hell of a run, but just be cautious, but stay long enough, have enough exposure to where you're not going to get FOMO, right? Because say this goes to 80, 90K, right? You're going to be kicking yourself, and you're going to be feeling, you're going to get, it's going to get like, it can get so bad to where like, you're just like, you know what? Screw it. And you tell yourself, you convince yourself at the top or at a local top, say at 90K, and you're like, you know what? This thing's going to 100K. You know what? I am okay taking this risk if Bitcoin falls 30, 40% from here. And you convince yourself of that. But if it actually happens and it falls 30, 40%, then you'd be like, oh shit, I should have waited. I didn't follow my plan, right? So it's always important, especially like in a macro bull market, to always have exposure, some sort of exposure to just kind of keep you level, keep you grounded, and not make any emotional decisions. That's just a big part of the market. The largest part of the market is not even predicting where the market's going to go. It's more like just controlling your emotions, because your emotions will get you to buy the top and then get scared and sell the bottom, right? That is the market. And if you can control that and have, tame your expectations and manage your exposure, you'll do well. You honestly don't even really need technical analysis. You could use it for like, more of a macro look, or, just seeing how the market's trending. But, like even me, like I just use it to see how the market's trending. I keep it very simple. I've been trading since 2009, since the great financial crisis. I tried every indicator. I tried Fibonacci's. I had like crazy shit on my screen. And I would sit at the screen for like hours, like 10 hours a day. I'd be at my monitor. I didn't have a family back then, so I was like I was single. So I had all the time in the world, and all my time was spent looking at charts, drawing lines. And every time I had my plan set out the night before, and I go and trade it, and then price broke that line that shouldn't have broken, and then I'd be pissed, like, it wasn't supposed to do that. Well, the market doesn't care about my little line that I draw. It doesn't care at all. And then just over time you start learning, and most people, they just give up. They give up and say, it's too hard, which I admit it's very hard. Trading is very hard. The lower the time frame, the harder it is, and you have to be really on top of your game. The lower the time frame you go, the more macro and higher time frame you go, it gets easier. But it's not easy. It's never easy. But over time, if you stick with it, I think you just got to be kind of stubborn, a little obsessive, over learning it and understanding the markets. And then over time, you develop a strategy that just works for you, that fits you, So let's see. Got another. So Felix, Sol Bitcoin is a good combo on Orca, Raydium, Meteora. I never heard of them. Check it out. Yeah. Like for me, like that's all. Hey, that's a just you bringing up those different exchanges. I noticed there's a lot of people, like I just recently did a call where I did a one-on-one with someone, and they had a ton of liquidity pools, right? And I'm just like, like you guys see me, like I have three, like 3, 4, maybe 4, right? But usually like 1 or 2 that I'm really like focused on. And I'll have like a couple that are more passive or not requiring very active management. But I had to take a swig. But I just feel like, it's just very, there's so many opportunities right now, and there's that other FOMO, that opportunity for FOMO, right? You want to be in all opportunities. Like, oh my God, there's something here. This one's printing this much APR. This pool is printing this much. This one's printing this much. Oh man, I need to be in this and that and that. And then next thing you know, you're in like 10 different pools. But then just the level, like my level of focus on like 2 or 3 pools is a lot. Like, it's a lot for me. Like like I have to, if I go into any more pools that need active management beyond 2 or 3, I notice the quality of my management goes down, right? You start making mistakes, you start doing shortcuts, you start mismanaging your liquidity pools, you start missing things, you start taking on impermanent loss without knowing, you start getting sloppy, right? I'm not saying like everyone should be like max 2 or 3. You got to find your max, because some people are like giga brained, right? Like they could go 10 pools, like, and it's like nothing for them, right? So like, but for me, 2 or 3 is max for like very active management is like enough for me. Otherwise I see diminishing returns, and it just comes to a point where like you find that limit and then you stay below it. That way you're razor sharp on those that you are managing. And you just have to say, you know what? That's just an opportunity I can't get, because I have these opportunities right now that I'm managing and they're doing well. And I have to be happy with that, especially if they're doing well, you got to be happy with them, right? So that's the thing. Like, it's markets like these, there's going to be so many opportunities and so many that you're going to want to get in, and you're going to end up missing if you play it right, right? If you're jumping on everything, not only will you get sloppy, but you will also burn yourself out, right? I've seen burnouts. I've seen people get to the point where they're just like exhausted, right? And especially when the market gets choppy, right? They're doing too much. They're in there. They're just like, burning themselves out. And then when the easy opportunities come, they're too burnt out to jump on them, or too burnt out to see them, right? So there's a balance there, right? There's a balance. You have to manage your expectations, manage your energy. It's very important. Like for me, like I'm, especially like right now, past few days, I haven't done much in the markets. I posted some new stuff today. I jumped in some shitcoin pools, LPs on Raydium, just because of high APRs and some nice volume. But other than that, like I'm not really doing much. I'm just kind of riding my super wide liquidity pool on Ethereum. Shout out to Felix for letting me know about base, because this one's actually paying pretty well. But look how wide that pool is. It's like, I think that's the widest pool I've ever done. But it allows me, I'm just waiting for the next glaring opportunity. And for me to be well rested, it allows me to just watch for that. But not only that, right? I still have exposure to Ethereum. Like 81% of my pool is in Ethereum. So I got plenty of exposure. Like if this market wants to run, cool, let it run. I'll wait for the next opportunity. I won't gain much in yield, but I will gain enough in price appreciation, right? So this is why it's important to always have like a multi-dimensional look at your liquidity pools, to understand that it's not just about yield and pumping out thousands of percent of yield, right? Because the easy trade is just to sit in spot, or to sit and not do anything and let the market do the heavy lifting, right? Let it appreciate in value without you having to really lift a finger. And then I wait, and it allows me to not have FOMO. It allows me to wait for a better opportunity. And there's going to be an opportunity where I'm going to be like, okay, now I can get tighter again. I can get tighter in my liquidity pool. You know, one opportunity right now, I just only have one trigger right now set up to the downside, which is if we get below 3,200, I will farm a tighter liquidity pool, as you can see here, right? Because price is showing me price is breaking down, right? I will get tighter in that scenario. Other than that, I don't have an upside trigger right now. I'm kind of waiting. I'm just waiting for more clues, waiting for more information. And if the market wants to continue to move up, that's fine. I will be okay, because most of my pool is in Ethereum anyways. So it doesn't matter. Like, I have the upside covered and I got the downside covered, and that's my plan, right? I hope I don't have to spend a long time in this type of range, in this wide range, because I do really want to start printing some nice yields and some nice volatility, right? But I just feel right now, especially after today's move, I'm like, oh shit, okay. You don't know what's gonna do. This thing could spike. Like, Ethereum could spike up to 4K, right? If Bitcoin decides to run, if it decides to break a new high, like we've been seeing this all, this whole year and the end of last year, right? Like, chop sideways, it comes down, consolidates, and then rips higher, rips higher, rips higher, rips higher. That's all it's doing, And looking back, it's like, oh shit, I should have just stayed long. But during all this, it's kind of scary shit, right? Like, this move here, what was that, like 20% here back in January after the ETF approval? There was that sell-off. Everyone's like, oh, that's it. And then there you go. The bidders came back in, have been driving it up now. So, I'm the first to say that I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if it's going to keep going higher, but regardless, I am prepared. That's how you got to think, It's just being prepared. And as a liquidity provider, we have the benefit of being prepared in both scenarios. You don't have to sit and hold like a hodler or a trader and just hope the market goes in your direction, right? You have that multi-dimensional position. You have the benefit if the market goes higher, but you also have the benefit of earning yield in the meantime as well. And then that's how you'll start seeing a shift, especially for new traders, new liquidity providers that are just getting their feet wet and understanding it. You'll start to realize that, oh yeah, this is kind of more like a long-term game, right? You're playing the long game. Yes, there's going to be stints where you're going to have short periods of time where you're going to generate a shit ton of yield, but you won't be able to take advantage of those opportunities if you're trying to time the market. You're in and out, not playing the long game, just want to keep extracting from the market, but not providing that service, right? That liquidity providing service. It's kind of like karma, right? Like you're building that karma. You're providing that service to the market, so you will get your due payment in time, right? Over time. And you have to embrace that volatility. And if you can't embrace the volatility, that's fine. Just play small, very small. Play smaller until you develop that, I guess that tolerance to the volatility, right? Like, like you see my position here, right? Like, well, if you would have saw my position from November until March, it was 3 times the amount of this, right? But the ups and downs didn't bother me. I had a plan and I'm sticking to it, right? And this is the volatility I can handle right now, right? So this thing could swing 5 to 10K per day. And yeah, if it swings the wrong way, it would suck, right? But it's not going to kick me out as long as it's, as long as the market is behaving and showing me there's no, of course there's always the chance of a black swan. But even then, even during black swans, as long as the fundamental thesis of Bitcoin and Ethereum are not compromised, I'm pretty much a long-term holder. So that's like, I'm just like, you know what, that's it. I'm long-term holding, and I'm gonna generate yield in the meantime. That's gonna allow me to stay in the market. Sorry, kind of went on a rant there, or just a little tangent. Let's see. Let me check this here. Oh, there's a lot of comments. Let me read through these. So, oh yeah, thanks Felix for the link to Meteora. For those that didn't see it, check the Discord chat. And then let's see here. Okay, K Beard, you're talking about me. I have 20 farms going. Holy, are they like super active? If they're super active, that's what I say. Like, there could be gigabrains out there that could manage 10, 20 liquidity pools efficiently and razor sharp, right? I'm not saying, like, everyone's different. Like, for me, I don't have that brain power, man. I cannot do more than that. More than like 3. Like actively. Like, I'll have my passive pools, right? But if you're like actively farming 20, just assess your performance, right? Assess your energy levels. And are you like, if you notice yourself taking shortcuts, or if you notice yourself missing opportunities, right? Like, say, like, oh man, I should have rebalanced it and I missed it, right? I missed my trigger, or I missed an opportunity to just take profit and close out. This trade should have been closed out, right? And I should have reopened a new one with a different structure, liquidity pool structure. Those are the things that you got to pay attention to. And if things are starting to lack, your performance is lacking, or you're noticing like you're taking shortcuts or not performing like you should, then yeah, it's good to just take a look and say, okay, maybe there's some liquidity pools that I don't need. Maybe some things are redundant. Like, honestly, for me, the most part, like, I stick to Ethereum, wrap Bitcoin when I wrap Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then the major alts for the most part. That's like probably 90 to 95% of my strategy. And then I'll farm some shitcoin pools, but they're like very small, like a less than 1% of my portfolio, and I'll drop some liquidity in there because, sometimes you see some crazy APRs, high volume, jump in on those, but they're not actively managed anyways. So it doesn't take a lot of my brain power, and it shouldn't, because there's such a small part of the portfolio that is not worth. That's another thing you got to think about your time. Like, is it worth your time to actively manage, right? Everyone has a different amount of time that they can dedicate to this, right? If you're single with a ton of time on your hands and you don't need to work, right? You just do this full time, then that's different than somebody that's got a family that has like a 9 to 5 and does not want to spend all their whole, they don't want to spend more than an hour in front of the screens, right? Like, your advantage is the amount of time you have available as well. That's got to be a big factor in the way you structure your pools. Let's see here. So what else we got? Felix got 9. Yeah. I've seen, yeah, you've been showing me your pools, man. That's crazy, dude. You're doing it pretty insane, dude. That's awesome. I love it. I love using Crystal to help manage the EVM ranges. Easy to check many pools at once. Yeah, actually, I just started using Crystal as well. I've always heard of it, and I looked at it briefly, but like Pat, like, I think it was last week, APY Vision and APY Vision and Builder Metrics were down, or just weren't working right. So I was like, all right, I need something else. So I fired up Crystal, and it just did the job, right? It got what I needed. It just gave me the data I needed, and it helped a lot. I kind of like it too, man. you know, it's just, you know, use what you can, right? Like always have redundancy plans. And in worst case scenario, like nothing worked, I would just depend on, you know, on manual tracking. You know, that's why I always remember my anchor price, right? Where I staked initially. That's, I call it the anchor. And then if I need to rebalance without having to, like if I'm flying blind without any tools, like tools are down, they're not working right, I will always remember, okay, this was the value of my pool when I staked at that price. Cool, that's all I need. I should be okay with this range. I give it a little bit of a buffer, a little bit wider than normal, just to make sure I encompass that, and avoid taking unnecessary impermanent loss, right? And I just think that comes with just time and experience, right? And just doing it repeatedly over and over, right? You just do it over and over, and you know, it's very important to get the reps in, especially if you're new and just starting out. You know, venturing into concentrated liquidity. You know, use a very small amount, whatever is relative, whatever small is to you, right? Like something that's not gonna like change your life. You know, if the market drops in price, or say the asset goes to zero, it's not gonna like destroy your life, right? Like it's just gonna be like, oh, it stung, but not a big deal, right? Like that size, like use that size to practice and farm super tight liquidity pools, make all the mistakes, you know, learn about impermanent loss, understand what it is and how it works, right? Because if you run them too wide while you're training and learning, there's going to be too much time that passes in between each rebalance, right? So you want it like as tight as possible, right? And then learn how to rebalance them and to minimize that impermanent loss, and then just keep going and keep going, keep doing it. And eventually you start learning and you're like, oh shit, okay, it starts clicking. Once it starts clicking, you start adding more size, setting up a range that works for you, right? Whatever width. Doesn't, you know, the width, there's no right or wrong answer. It just depends on your, you know, your style, your personality, your lifestyle, the time you have to manage it, right? That all plays a part in how wide of a range you go. You know, obviously if you have 20 hours to spend at the desk per day, you could go super tight and run them super tight and actively manage, right? But if you only want to spend an hour a day or even an hour per week, you can run liquidity pools that you know, complement that. So, you know, there's no like, oh man, I can't spend enough time doing this. No, like there's times where I spent months without managing a liquidity pool, like throughout the bear market. My liquidity pools would stay in range for months on end, and I'd maybe rebalance them once a month, usually once every 2 months, and still generate yields. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, as long as it works, right? Because if it doesn't work for you, you're gonna make mistakes anyways, and you're gonna end up in losses anyways. Because say you don't have the time available to manage an active liquidity pool, but you have the FOMO of I got to generate these high yields, then you start forcing yourself to be in there, right? When you're not supposed to, because of, you know, whatever outside forces that are factoring in there, right? So you got to look in the mirror, right? Look in the mirror, and really, it's like I say, man, it's literally like all in the mindset. This whole technical analysis, you know, drawing lines and all this shit, you know, it's like all that doesn't matter. You know, that should come second. Like if you have your mindset right and understand who you are as a person and set up your strategy around that, you'll do way better than 90% of the people out there. I guarantee it, man. You know, and use proper size. You know, don't fool yourself. You know, don't be thinking like, ah, man, I can handle it. I'll throw my whole account in there and just really ramp up these yields. Well, you get that drawdown in crypto, 30, 40%, 50%. It's really going to test you. It's gonna test that thesis one day. You know, you might get away with it for a couple months, but when that time comes, and it will test you. And you're gonna be having some soul searching moments where, I've been there. You're just gonna be sitting there like, what the hell did I do? And you're gonna make the worst. You're gonna make the worst decision at the worst time, right? And that's usually where the bottom is, right? You're just gonna capitulate. So, be true to yourself. Manage your risk. Understand, and always leave a buffer. Let's see here. So, 20 farms. I have 9. Crystal. Billy, yeah, down to 2. You're down to 2, but thankfully doing well in both. Yeah, see, like there's nothing wrong with that, man. Like if you're doing really well in 2 pools, screw the rest, man. You don't have to do more than that. I'm in that same boat, man. I'm like primarily I'm kind of a boring liquidity provider. I'm primarily in Ethereum. I do some altcoins from time to time, but I don't do anything crazy, man. Like I want it as simple as possible because I want to manage it as efficiently as possible. Like if you can get really good at like one asset, you'll probably do well over the long run, right? As opposed to like, just trying to be in everything, right? Like, but that just comes down to like who you are as a person and how much you can manage. Felix, I use Aperture a lot, but no automation for me. I like to collect the fees on my own. Oh, like collecting the fees. Yeah, they don't have the, right now it compounds them into the rebalances, right? But, I use like Crystal or I use APY Vision to see what the value of my yields were before the rebalance on the rebalance pool, right? So even if it rebalances for me and I miss collecting the fees, I'll just come back later and I'll pull them out. Like I'll just remove the liquidity and that's it, So if that's the only reason why you're not that you're not using the automation, then you could just do it that way, man. Like especially like, I know like I'm pretty sure like you're looking at this daily, right? So, even if you miss like the value change of the yield that's accrued, it'll change a little bit, but it won't be much, right? Like if you miss like if it even takes you a day, to collect that yield out of the liquidity pool, that's fine. It's not a big deal. So that's the way I've been going around it. I don't sit there, constantly collecting the fees. I just wait till it rebalances, and then I'm like, okay, what was it? I go to APY Vision or Crystal. Like, okay, I generated that much yield. Let me just pull out that liquidity. I just do that, and whatever, enter in there and pull it out. Doesn't if you could create more. The more automation you can, the more you can automate a lot of like of the grunt work, the better. It keeps you grounded, I feel. So I use Aperture. I do use the manual rebalance though. Oh yeah, that's good too. Yeah, if they're able, but see, you got to be there when the trigger hits, right? Like when that price gets to your trigger, you have to be at the desk to do the manual rebalance. Well, now you don't have to. You could just come back later and extract that yield out of the liquidity pool. That way, you could focus on building that work of art, man. That dashboard. That thing is dude, that thing is a game changer, man. Like, can't wait to can't wait to see what you got coming for you. All right, so I use Aperture. If they're able to set the GM method for the auto rebalancer, then I will start using it again. Oh yeah. I just wish they wouldn't, from K Beard, I wish they wouldn't compound in the fees when the balancer fires. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, it does. But you know what? You can always go to Crystal, see how much yield that closed pool generated, and pull out the yield from the liquidity. It's not a big deal. You know, by the time you get to it, price should not move too much. And even then, like, it's just the yield. So the yield value won't change very much, because especially like on an ETH USDC pool, half of it is USDC anyways. So the other half won't move much. You can have a little room for error, on that part. Maybe a little tiny impermanent loss based on that, but who cares? At least you're not like 99% of yield farmers, like, or people that are invested in like automated liquidity pools or automated vaults, like say Arrakis or Gamma or the like, right? And just taking on impermanent loss, exponentially, right? Like this is, always, you're compromising a little bit impermanent loss in the yield, but you're getting time back and not having to worry about always checking like, oh, is it going to get to my trigger? Okay, now I need to get to the computer and rebalance, right? Like you don't have to worry about that. Just let it do it on its own. And then when it rebalances, then you could go and then plan out the next automated rebalance. And then Billy, I collect fees when there's enough and manually rebalance too, but it's nice to have the automation to keep me on plan when price hits certain ranges. Exactly. Like it rebalances in like in a nanosecond, right? So it's like great. Like it's a big help. You don't have to unstake, then swap to the correct, unswap or swap to the correct ratio. And then, you also have that like DeFi Labs or Builder Metrics open as well. And then like map out your new ranges. You already have your trigger set, your ranges set. You're like, okay, what's the ratio here at this price? Okay, well, price is oscillating. So the ratio is changing as well, right? So you get most of the liquidity in there. And then you're like, shit, I still have some left over. Now I got to swap, do a second swap or even a third swap. And then like stake it in there. And you're wasting gas and wasting time. It's like a 30-minute ordeal. That was the old days, man. I'm glad those days are behind. Now I just let Aperture rebalance it for me. I set my slippage pretty reasonable. On base I got it at 0.23%. On Arbitrum I had it at 0.19% for slippage. So and it worked pretty well. There was only one time it didn't trigger because of the slippage. The low slippage setting, but for the most part, it worked like a charm, man. Let's see. Yes, I requested to not include the fees when rebalancing. We'll see if they add it. Yeah, they're trying to work on that. Speaking of which, they launched their new intent. Like you can see like the thing is like a little different now, right? Like if we go here. Where is it? It's the campaign or yeah. So like they launched this campaign today, and if you guys want to use my link, it'd be awesome. I'll post it in the chat. Say what do they call it? It's a little self-promotion. If you guys want to use it, use my link here. And, it'll help you get a part of the token generation event, the TGE, for the Aperture airdrop or Aperture token launch, right? You could earn if you use my referral link, you'll get access to the dashboard. Right. And then do a couple things like join and follow their Discord, follow on X. And then, you get points, and the more points you generate, you know. All right, Felix, good talking to you, man. Have a good night. I'm probably gonna jump off here soon, man. But yeah, do that, and you can get like an allocation of the tokens. So just throwing that out there. But let's see what else. If there's no other questions here. Oh, here, K-Beard said they are super active, but generally stay in range except for your 20 pools, for maybe 2 or 3 that pop out at times. But I like to get a 24-hour cooldown period to allow it to pop back in naturally. Oh yeah, you can do that too. Sometimes I do that as well, especially if it's not a stable pool, more like a volatile pool. If they go out of range a little bit, usually like if the pools that I stake in are tokens that I don't mind holding anyways. So if it goes out of range briefly, a day, maybe even 2 days, I'll be like, you know what, I don't mind holding it anyways. But yeah, that's solid, man. That's fine. As long as it works for you. Just know, obviously you won't generate yield during that time, but you already know that. So, but yeah, it helps reduce that impermanent loss and gives it a chance to get back in range. And there you go. If it gets back in, cool. You don't even have to manage it. Then Billy, you also only miss maybe a minute of yield when it auto rebalances. Yeah, you don't miss much. Little extra steps add up in terms of my time, though, especially with my 20 pools. Yeah, exactly, man. Yeah, if you could, maybe, I don't know if it's like overwhelming, but if it is, man, you don't have to be in 20 pools to make money in this market. Maybe, if anything, maybe widen some of them out if it's too much of a burden, right? Make some of them super wide. That way you don't have to manage them too much, and they still generate yield, and you still have exposure to the asset, right? There's plenty of ways to play it, man. It's not always about trying to extract the most amount of yield out. Sometimes you gotta step back, take a step back, and assess, and then lay off the gas a little bit at times. There's no problem with that. And then from Billy, if it's a recurring rebalance, you just set and forget. With automated rebalance, you have to do every time the trigger hits. Yeah, exactly. The recurring rebalancer, I like to use it for my, where is it? I have my pool here. Here, I'll show it. It's on Polygon. It's a stable pool, so this one right here, the USDC DAI. If I click on it, does it show? Oh wait, no, I gotta go to the rebalancer. Sorry. So this one's actually been generating over the past like a little over 2 weeks, about 14% on average APR. And if I go here, the strategy, yeah, they kind of changed it up a little bit. So, but yeah, here you go. It's done. I've been running this strategy. I've been kind of fine tuning it, and this is the one that's been working for me now. I initially had it like super tight, like I was rebalancing. Where is it? Here. It was like 1 or 2 ticks wide at one time, but it was rebalancing too much, and I was like, it's probably taking on a lot of impermanent loss, plus the fees. The fees will eat into fees, and slippage will eat into any yield, right? So I just started at 2 ticks wide just to see. This one's kind of volatile, so I'm finding like 10 ticks wide with a 50-50 rebalance. Just kind of put a smack dab in the middle. Has been working. It's giving me about a 14% ish APR. And I don't have to worry about my stables not doing anything. Now it's earning some yield. I've made this started at a value of 70,199 total. And then now I'm oh wait, not here. I gotta go. Oh yeah, you can go from here actually. Where is it? Oh, it doesn't take you to the position anymore, huh? Oh, they changed that. Okay, so I gotta go here. That's kind of annoying, this menu. I wish, hopefully they change it. Like McDavid, if you see this, you know, put these over here. You could put, I mean, I know you're probably trying to, I haven't tried this intense GBT. I need to check it out. That's pretty interesting. Wonder what it does. But yeah, here's the position. Yeah, you can see now it's worth 70,600 almost. You know, well, actually, you got to add it up because that's like the value, and the value changes. So I go 57,479 plus 13,150, 70,629. Yep. So earn over about $430 in yield that I've kept. Right. So I think total is generated more, but like impermanent loss and slippage was a big part. All right, here it says 343. Okay, that I've earned. I think I trashed the original one and I set up a new one. But anyways, let's see here. Little extra steps add up. Yeah, let's set. Yep. All right. Yeah, K Beard. Yeah. Yeah, if you need to, man, yeah. Always, you know, there's always room for optimizing. Always ways to optimize. Think about your time and energy too, man. Because, you know, say like, you know, you got to think of it this way, like say liquidity pool, say like 10 of them are like taking up a lot of your time, right? And you're managing them and you're always there. Now that time is taken away from like research you could do on say new projects or like undervalued projects, right? Not necessarily like ones that you could stake liquidity on, just some that you could just buy and hold and trade, right? Like, you know, an example, like I'll take my recent trade. If you look in the non-degen section of the Discord where I posted the ICP trade, this one was a phenomenal trade. Oh man, look at this thing. It's already it's almost at 20. I sold what was it, yesterday? I think yesterday. Yeah, I sold yesterday at 15.22. Where was it? Yeah. So anyway, like I bought this probably about about a week ago. Barely like a week ago. I bought it at 12.60. That was my entry. And I sold it yesterday. I wasn't even at my desk. I just saw the run and I was like, man, this thing's running. And I was like, man, this thing probably is gonna keep running, because I started seeing other, like I have my AI portfolio, right? I call it gaming, but I have my AI portfolio. But I started seeing a lot of these just started making a run, right? I'm like, man, I'm thinking probably people are starting to rotate back into like the AI space. So, but I was like, you know what? I just took profits at 15.22. I had like 2,200 of 2,200 ICP tokens, and man, now I'm thinking about it like, damn, that's another $4. Shit, man. You know, and well, anyways, back to my point, right? Like, the only reason why I noticed ICP down there and I found it to be a good opportunity to buy, you know, I saw this drawdown here, and then I was like, okay, let me start buying. Like it started. I was like, you know what? It's kind of, you know, whole market is like trending up. You know, you get these dips. This thing was on a dip, and I'm like, you know what? Worth a buy. And the only reason why I saw it is because I wasn't busy managing or spending a lot of time managing liquidity pools. You know, I took a step back. Like I said, I went super wide on my Ethereum USDC, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to take a break. And then I just happened to be looking at the market, looking at my watch list, and I saw this. I'm like, you know what, I've been watching ICP for a while, and it's on a dip, let me buy some, right? Like if I was busy managing liquidity pools, I would have never saw it, right? So that's why it's important to assess and think about it and say, are these pools taking up a lot of my time, right? Are they taking time away from, like, especially if you're like, man, I wish I could like research this more, or I wish I had more time to do this in the market, right? You know, time is not time. You can't get more time, right? Like you got to find ways to get back some time, right? And if some pools are redundant or like not really needed, or if you could just benefit from going wider, if that, then so be it. You know, take a little bit of less yield on these pools, get more time back, and then you can use that time in other areas. You know, even if it's like, you know, not just trading, if it's like airdrop farming, right? Or because there's some like, you know, this year's been like crazy with airdrops, you know. So like think of it that way, like, or even like if you want a shitcoin trade too, you know, like when the market gets hot in the shitcoins, meme coins, right? Like you need time, right? You need time to focus on that because those things are volatile, right? So nice on the ICP. I bought $100 worth of C pool on February 12th. It's $277 today. Really? Then check it out. Oh wait, what? Mochi. Hold on. Here you go. Clear pool. Oh, I thought it was $277. I was like, holy shit, man. Let's see, 3 months on. Nice, dude. Dude, yeah. That's what I'm talking about, man. Get those 3Xs, 5Xs, 10Xs, right? And with shitcoins, gotta keep it small, man. Like, always keep it small. If it goes to 0, doesn't hurt. It'll sting a little bit, but not too bad, right? But yeah, man. But that's kind of like where I'll leave it off at, right? You kind of, man, been over an hour. Oh man, hour and a half. I was trying to do like 30 minutes. All right, guys. If there's no more questions, I am gonna take off, man. I need to go eat. I haven't eaten dinner, so I'm gonna go eat a late dinner. And you know what? I'm gonna put that on my watch list right now, man. That C pool. I will keep an eye on it. Yes, sir. Thanks for the tip. I'll do some research. I'll DYOR on it, and I'll probably pick some up. Another one I just picked up is this one here. Since we're talking about shitcoins, where is it? Oh wait, it's the gaming one. All right, I am in the gaming one. I have this one, OPSEC. I posted it at $1.60, so that one's doing pretty well. I'm holding this one a little longer because there's like a fee. There's like a transaction fee in there. I can't remember how much. I think it's like 2 or 3%. So I'm like, oh man, they kind of got me on that. And then another one I bought a couple days ago. This one right here, Conducts. If you go to their Discord, they're planning a mint at the end of the month, right? And this one's kind of like in the AI space ish. So, you know, hot sector. Planning to do a mint. Low market cap, even fully diluted. It's about double. So it's about 120 million market cap, fully diluted right now. So, in the Discord, you know, they're saying that they only have one market. It's only on Uniswap. So like, not only that, but it charges a 3% fee. So for the longest time I was watching this, I was like, man, this like it's charging me a fee, but it got down a couple days ago to 7 cents. Let me see, we're right here. I bought it, a couple days ago. I bought it right here. I like literally bought them. I bought it right here. I was like, okay. Kind of feels like selling is overdone, You know, it came from like, I think it went to like 15 actually. Yeah, or 17. Yeah, 17, 18, right? Came all the way down to 7. I'm like, okay, you know what? Even a 3% haircut, I'll take it. So I bought some of that. But yeah, that, and then I got a few other ones. I posted them all in the non-degen category. So if you want to take a look and see what I'm in, let's see. Should go over $1 easy in the near term. Okay, I'll look at that C pool, man. Yeah, man. Now's the time, dude. Now's the time to be researching projects. You know, finding the undervalued ones and going for it. You know, it is only like a 3x, right, from where you bought. It's really not outlandish, right? It's not like it already ran like 100x or something, right? You know, so, you know, 3x in the microcaps is nothing. That's nothing, man. All right, guys. So I will end it there. Thanks again for joining. I will be doing another one, and you know, I have the schedule posted in our Discord. You know, the future ones are already scheduled, so trying to do this every week. But yeah, that's it. You guys take care. Thanks again, man. Thanks for joining, everybody. Thanks for your time. I will see you all in the room. Ask questions, man. Ask questions in there. You know, we're happy to help. This stuff, like looking at it and just starting out, I know how hard it is. I know how hard, like, confusing it is. Liquidity pools, concentrated liquidity pools. So, you know, anyone that's even watching this on YouTube later, right? Just get into Discord. It's free to join. You know, links in the description. You know, just click it, join up, ask questions. We have a free channel for you guys here. I'm going to bring the Discord page over to the screen. You know, if you go here, you'll join up, and then the freemium access area. That's where everybody can see, right, and talk and ask questions, right? So, and then I post all my positioning here. I put my thought process, what I'm doing in the trades, you know, exactly like every rebalance I put my thought process, what I'm looking at, what I'm looking to do, right? That's, you know, and, you know, people say it helps them. So, you know, it helps them out and helps them kind of see clearly, like, oh, okay, like I see what he's doing. You know, it's really not rocket science, man. You know, once you get it, once it clicks, that's it. You know, you're good. So, all right. But yeah, I'm going to call it a night there, guys. But thanks again. Thanks for joining. I will see you guys on the next one. Peace out. I'll see you guys in Discord.